So today, we're diving deep and deconstructing the absolutely chilling horror film Rag Doll. It's a story that kicks off with a family just trying to get a fresh start, only to find out that their new home is actually a doorway to an inescapable nightmare. All right, so let's meet our family. We've got Chia, the mother, her new partner, Monica, and Chia's young daughter, Crystal. They're all moving into a new house, and this place is supposed to be a clean slate for them. But, right from the get-go, you can just feel that this new beginning is built on some seriously shaky ground. And this really lays out the core problem perfectly, doesn't it? On one hand, you have the promise of it all, a fresh start, a house they got for a surprisingly good price, and all this hope for a new life. But the flip side, the problem is way darker. You've got Crystal's deep resentment, all this unresolved family trauma just simmering below the surface, and a little girl who just wants her dad back. This isn't really a fresh start. It's just moving old wounds to a new address. And this one line from Crystal, man, it just cuts right to the heart of everything. Her mom is trying to get her excited about this new life, and that's her response. See, she's not just some moody kid. She is grieving the family that she lost. And that makes her incredibly lonely and very, very vulnerable. She's basically the emotional powder keg of this entire story.
So that fragile piece I mentioned? Yeah, it doesn't last long. Not at all. While they're unpacking, they head up to the attic to clear it out. And that's where they find something. Something left behind. Something really unsettling.
And here is where you really see the family's total disconnect. They find this grotesque handmade rag doll. I mean, it smells like mold, it's covered in cobwebs. Chia is immediately grossed out by it. But Monica, who's really trying to build a bridge with Crystal, offers it to her. And Crystal, who is just desperate for a friend, any friend, latches onto it like it's the most precious thing in the world. The doll's arrival is the trigger. It's the turning point. Almost right away, that whole happy new life thing starts to crack, and a whole series of strange, sinister events begins to plague the family. And let me tell you, the situation goes downhill, and it goes downhill fast. The escalation is just terrifyingly quick. It all starts with a nasty fight when Crystal's dad, Don, shows up. Just 1 week later, a family friend who's babysitting Crystal vanishes. Poof, gone without a trace from inside the house. And then, only 3 days after that, Monica takes a really bad, near-fatal fall down the stairs. This is not just bad luck, this is a pattern. After Monica's fall, Shia's mind just jumps to this absolutely horrifying conclusion. She sees Crystal standing there at the top of the stairs, and in that one moment, she becomes convinced that her daughter's anger has finally boiled over into real violence. She thinks Crystal pushed Monica. And this right here sets up the central mystery of the whole film. It's that classic horror question. Is what we're seeing psychological or is it supernatural? Is this just the tragic result of a disturbed child's rage, or has some genuine evil force been woken up in this house? So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Who is actually responsible for all the horror that's unfolding in his house? Well, let's take a look at the evidence for both sides. Okay, so the case against Crystal, and honestly, it's pretty compelling from a psychological standpoint. She's got a clear motive, right? She openly hates Monica, blames her for breaking up her family. She had the opportunity. She was right there when Monica fell. And she has a history of these emotional outbursts. If you're looking at it logically, she's the prime suspect. But then you have Crystal's side of the story, and it is something else entirely. She insists the doll is alive, that it talks to her, that it moves around the house all by itself, and she's not empowered by it. She is petrified. She keeps saying the doll is waiting for me, and claims it even confessed to what it did to the people who lived in the house before them. And just when you're thinking, okay, this kid is definitely making it all up, the estate agent comes in and drops an absolute bombshell. The reason the house was so cheap, a woman who used to live there murdered her own sister inside its walls. And her defense? She claimed a voice named Emily told her to do it. All of a sudden, Crystal's stories don't sound quite so crazy anymore, do they? So all of this is just hurtling towards a horrific finale, where the psychological explanation and the supernatural one are about to collide, and the devastating truth is finally going to come out. So the climax kicks off with that frantic 911 call we heard at the very beginning. It's Chia. She's found her ex-husband Don and her partner Monica, dead. And in her mind, there's zero doubt about who's responsible. She is completely, 100% convinced her daughter is a murderer. And then she confronts her daughter with just this raw, unfiltered horror. I mean, can you even imagine the agony of believing that, of saying those words to your own child?
But Crystal's defense is immediate, and it is desperate. She's pleading, she's blaming the doll, claiming she saw blood on its hands. See, she's not defiant, she's terrified. But to her mother, it just sounds like a pathetic lie. You have to understand, at this point, Chia she's broken. She's gone too far down this path. She can't see her daughter's terror anymore. All she sees is the evidence of this monstrous act. And Crystal's story just sounds like a childish attempt to get out of trouble. And these final moments, they are just gut-wrenching. Chia, totally resigned, tells Crystal they'll just wait for the police together. She pulls her daughter into this hug that's full of sorrow and apology. And it's in that moment, over Crystal's shoulder, that she sees it. The doll, just standing there. And in that split second, she finally gets it. Crystal was telling the truth the entire time. But that realization comes just a moment too late. So in the end, Ragdoll leaves us wrestling with this really chilling question. Was the doll just some evil entity that found a vulnerable family to prey on? Or was it the family's own brokenness, all their grief and anger and resentment that basically opened the door and invited the evil in? It kind of suggests that the most terrifying horrors aren't just the ones that haunt our houses, but maybe the ones that are already haunting our hearts.